right in the kisser.
How the devil are you? Why I order? Anyway, in my last video, I alluded to this amplifier here. Oh. Anyway, so this is the Pioneer A209R Dual Energy MOS, which stands for MOSFET. Now, MOSFET amplifiers, if it's implemented well, they can give you lower distortion and good power handling. And from what I can tell from using this, it's been implemented well. Now, you're wondering, why the hell have I got this on my desktop? What the deuce? Well, I want to experiment with having something different and make possibly cheaper on your desktop. Now, there's obviously some issues with it, okay? Like you want to make your PC sound better. So ideally, you need an amplifier to do that and some passive speakers, or you could use powered speakers. But in this instance, I'm going to try and use this full-size amp. And I will be comparing it later to this desktop amp, which is the SMSL Raw HA1 all-in-one. Now, there are some issues. Obviously, the first one being it's big, so it can take up a lot of space. You can overcome that by what I've done here. This is an all-in-one PC, but you could put your monitor on top. However, that draws up another issue. You've got vents on top here, which the amplifier needs to breathe. You don't want to overheat the amp. So what I've done, I've put these little risers here just to bring this off the top of the amp to let it breathe a bit. It's got some vents on the side as well. So that should be enough. That's about 2.5, 3 centimeters, about an inch and a bit above the amp. So it lets the amp breathe a bit. I don't want to cover them vents completely because that wouldn't be good. Now, another issue you have is obviously this is completely analog. And so you need to get a DAC. So what I've been using is this Tig Audio K5 DAC. And the good thing about this little DAC is that you can defeat the tone controls on it. It's got tone controls on it, but you can defeat the tone controls. So you've got pure direct, but also it can plug directly into your PC. So there's no extra plugs. It's powered directly from a USB port. So that's good. You can power it from there. You don't need an extra plug. So I got this plugged into the PC, and then that's running via RCA into the back of this amp. So what are the pluses to having an amp like this? Well, most sort of Class D desktop amps don't have that many inputs on them, especially analog inputs. There's normally one, if you're lucky, two. Okay, they may do a balanced input and an RCA input and balance. But this has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 inputs, plus a phono stage. So you can always add to it at a later date if you wanted to use, I mean, you wouldn't be able to put a turntable on here, or record player or anything, but if you did want to use it in the future for something else, you could connect a turntable to it, and it's got a pretty decent phono stage in it. You've got 2 sets of speaker binding posts, A and B. You got headphone out. You got bass and treble plus minus 8 dB. You got a loudness button, which I do like a loudness button. At low volumes, you need to have one of them. Bam, bang it on, beautiful. Really enhances that bass and treble. Nice big volume knob here. This is a motorized volume knob. However, you can see the IR there, infrared glass thing there. For the remote, I don't have the remote, so you could turn this up and down with the remote control, but I don't have the remote, unfortunately. You've also got a pure direct mode here. You've got the balance, an input selector, and tape 2 selector there. Right, let's have a little look around the back, and also have a little peek on the inside. I've taken some pictures, what I found online. I didn't want to take it apart myself. What a pain in the neck that is. When it's already there. You don't get a dog and bark yourself, do you? Anyway, let's have a look on the back. So on the back we have your ground screw here. Now it's not a thumb screw, so you will need a screwdriver to loosen that and tighten that up. Not a deal breaker really. Then you got your phono input here, and just to the right of that you got your tuner, then you got your CD input, then your spare line input there. I suppose that's like an auxiliary. Your tape or CD recorder, mini disc there, so you can plug that in there, and then you got a tape to monitor. Then you got A and B speakers, so 2 sets of binding posts. You can connect 4 speakers to this if you get 8 to 16 ohm speakers. I don't know why on these Pioneer amps they put A at the bottom and B at the top. It freaks me out because most amps have it the other way around. Again, I mean, it's no bother really, but I'm used to the A being on the top. But there we go. Now, it's worth noting that these European models, you cannot put banana plugs in them. Now, on the modern amps in Europe, they just plug these in. They plug them up and you can take the plugs out. But on these, they've completely omitted banana plugs. They got the holes there, but there's nothing inside. Believe me, I have checked and double checked. You cannot put banana plugs in these. If anybody knows difference, please let me know. But there's nothing in there. There's no metal or anything to put banana plugs in. And you can't take them off or anything, right? So banana plugs are out. So you've got to use bare wire. Not a fan of it, but it is what it is. Maybe US models do have banana plugs in, but not in Europe, because stupid people put European plugs in the holes and electrocute themselves. Anyway, over to the right then we've got the control out, and I think this is for, you can connect it to compatible devices where you can connect it to, say, a CD player, and one remote will control both units. And you've got your 2-pin AC inlet. So this is a picture I managed to find online. Saves me taking the lid off. You can see your power input here. There's your transformer there. And then you got some 1, 2, 3, 4 heat sinks. Some big caps down here. There's your speaker binding post down the bottom here. And there's all your analog inputs there running across the bottom. I believe this on the left here is your phono stage. And there's your volume pot here. So your motorized volume port, I should say. And it's attached to there by some ribbon cables. A lot of caps, semiconductors, resistors and relays, whatever, all in there. There you go, have a look. So this is rated at 35 watts into 8 ohms per channel at RMS. However, when they came out, they did have a sticker on the front of them. And on that sticker, it said 45 watts into 8 ohms. But that's misleading, because if you look on just on the left of that sticker, it says DIN. So it's 45 watts into 8 ohms DIN, but 35 watts into 8 ohms RMS. Now I think RMS is a much more accurate measurement of an amplifier than all these other measurements where they try to make them appear more powerful. Now some people may say, oh, 35 watts a channel, you know, my Fozzy has 300 watts, right? But here's the thing, 35 watts in this amplifier powers my Daddy Spectres more than enough. I've never even turned it above half volume. So it's more than enough watts. Okay, so we know there are some caveats to having a big arse amp on your desktop. Luckily I've got quite a decent sized desktop so I can fit it in. Okay, but there are some downsides to it. However, if it sounds good, who flipping cares, yeah? And now I've been using this for a couple of days now, maybe a bit longer. And it sounds really good with my Danny Spectre 2s. Oh, lovely. But does it sound as good or maybe even better than the SMSL Raw HA1? So I'll do a sound test now. And what I'll do is I'll have them both in direct mode. So there's no jiggery pokery, no tone controls involved. It's just exactly what the amp is coming through without bypassing the tone controls and no equalizing. So anyway, have a listen to this. So what do you think of that? Let me know in the comment section below your thoughts. I thought the Pioneer was a bit better. The Pioneer K5 DAC combo was a little bit better than the Raw HA1. Not by much, it was pretty close, but I thought the Pioneer was a bit richer, a bit fuller, a bit meatier. What other terms can I throw at you? More open, bit of a bigger soundstage. Just all in all, just a little bit better in every department, I thought. Detail retrieval was about the same, treble about the same. I do think the bass was a little bit fuller in the Pioneer, but pretty close. I have to say though, the Raw HA1 is a very decent desktop DAC, and you're getting a lot for your money. You know, you're getting, I mean, don't forget, you're getting coax in, optical in, you're getting a HDMI ARC, and you're getting Bluetooth, aptX HD and LDAC in it as well, plus one analog collection. So you're getting a lot for your money there. However, in this situation, for me personally, it might differ for you. I'm looking to make the sound of my PC better. I don't really need Bluetooth in this situation, really, because I got the PC right there connected to it. I don't need Bluetooth. I don't need, it's connected via USB. I don't really need HDMI ARC. I'm not connected it to a television. I don't need optical or coax, you know, in this situation. There are situations where I may need it, but in this scenario, I don't. So price-wise, are you saving any money, really? Well, the Raw HA1 is about £250 in the UK at the moment. The K5 DAC is about 90 quid. Now, I reckon you could pick up a decent integrated amp on eBay for around about 80 quid-ish. So you're looking at, what, 170 quid? So it is a little bit cheaper. However, be careful on eBay because people are selling these for silly prices, okay? I see one person trying to sell this identical amp for about 200 quid. Get out of town. You're having a laugh. Yeah, people are asking some silly prices. I've seen some Rotel amps on there, you know, from about the same year. This is a 2004 model. And I've seen some Rotel amps on there for around about 60, 70 quid. So let's say £80, whatever, 170 quid all in. But you have to shop around to get a decent price for one of these. So you are saving a bit of money and you are getting slightly better sound. Is it worth it? Well, that's up to you, isn't it? And have you got the space? Well, you know, that's another thing. Anyway, that's come to the end of the video. Hope you've enjoyed it. If you liked the video, give it a like. And don't forget, if I could speak, don't forget to subscribe and I'll catch you in the next one.